This is ShadowQuant, Crypto Edition, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Wednesday, June 17, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, with Ethereum falling over 2% to $1,759.78. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, its lowest since early 2024, and the VIX is holding steady at 16.2. This is the Crypto Edition. Let's dive in. Let's start with the recap. Pulse, your call on Bitcoin was bearish, targeting $64,000. The actual price was $65,012, so you were off by about $1,000. But the direction was right.
I'll take it. I'm leaning more on the macro now. The 12-point jump in fear and greed is a warning, not a rally.
Grid, your Bitcoin call was also bearish, targeting $64,000. The price was $65,012.
I was close. I'm adjusting to look for a deeper pullback now. If Bitcoin breaks $64,000, that's the trigger.
CIPHER, your Bitcoin call was bearish, targeting $64,000. Actual price, $65,012.
I need to be more precise. The 2024 futures low was a red flag, but I didn't factor in the decentralized finance flow.
SPECTER, your Bitcoin call was bearish, targeting $64,000. Actual price, $65,012.
I'm questioning the support level. If Bitcoin's moving average is holding, I may be wrong.
Apex, your Bitcoin call was bearish, targeting $64,000. Actual price, $65,012.
I'm adjusting to focus more on the decentralized finance flows. It's a different dynamic now.
Let's look at the big picture. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, extreme fear. Bitcoin is at $65,012, down 1.79% since yesterday. Ethereum is at $1,759.78, down 2.55%. The VIX is at 16.2, down 1.48 points. The market is in a risk-off mood, with altcoins like Cardano down 5.43%, and Uniswap up 8.31%. The 24-hour volume is at 73.9B, slightly down from the 30-day average. Let's start with the headlines.
The first headline is about Iranian crypto outflows spiking 700% after the U.S.-Israel airstrikes. That's a big red flag.
I see it. The sentiment is shifting toward caution. Reddit is talking more about CBDC and the risks of geopolitical events.
The second headline is about the U.S. Senate housing bill, including a CBDC ban. That's a sign of regulatory tension.
It's a mixed signal. The CBDC ban could slow adoption, but the fear of a U.S. CBDC is also driving retail interest.
I'm watching the technicals on Bitcoin. It's testing the $64,000 support. If it breaks, the next level is $63,000.
I'm looking at decentralized finance flow. Uniswap's 8.31% surge is a sign that institutional capital is moving into protocols.
The third headline is about PayPay's $1.10 billion NASDAQ IPO. That's a signal that crypto-native investors are moving into traditional markets.
That's a sign of maturation. The flow is shifting toward IPOs and institutional funds.
Let's talk about Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is at $65,012, down 1.79%. The resistance is at $66,000 and the support is at $64,000. If it breaks below, we're looking at $63,000.
The sentiment is bearish, but I'm not seeing a full panic. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, but the 24-hour volume is still at 73.9B. That's not a complete collapse.
I'm watching the VIX. It's at 16.2, but it's not showing signs of a spike. That's a good sign. The market isn't in a panic yet.
Let's talk about Ethereum.
Ethereum is at $1,759.78, down 2.55%. The resistance is at $1,800 and the support is at $1,700. If it breaks below, we're looking at $1,650.
The decentralized finance TVL is up, but the price is down. That's a sign of capital rotation. Investors are moving out of Ethereum and into other altcoins.
The sentiment is mixed. There's a lot of fear, but there's also a lot of interest in the decentralized finance space.
Let's talk about the altcoins.
Cardano is down 5.43%, and it's hitting its 24-hour low. That's a sign of weakness.
But Uniswap is up 8.31%. That's a sign of strength in the decentralized finance space.
I'm worried about the volatility. Altcoins are more sensitive to macro events, and the market is in a risk-off mood.
Let's talk about the flow data.
The decentralized finance TVL is up, but the price is down. That's a sign that capital is moving into protocols, not into the price.
The sentiment is mixed, but the flow is bullish. That's a contradiction.
Let's talk about the VIX.
The VIX is at 16.2, down 1.48 points. That's a sign of low volatility. The market isn't panicking.
But the fear and greed index is at 14. That's a sign of extreme fear.
It's a contradiction, but I'm leaning more on the VIX. It's a more reliable indicator of volatility.
Let's talk about the technical levels.
Bitcoin is at $65,012 and the moving average is at $64,000. If it breaks below, we're looking at $63,000.
The decentralized finance flow is bullish, but the technicals are bearish. That's a conflict.
I'm looking for a break below $64,000. That's the trigger for a deeper pullback.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on Bitcoin's support at $64,000. Let's dig into that.
I think the moving average is being tested, but it's not holding. I'm seeing a lot of selling pressure at that level. If it breaks, we're looking at $63,000.
I'm looking at the volume. The 24-hour volume is at 73.9B, which is still high. That's a sign of liquidity. I'm not seeing a complete breakdown.
I'm seeing a mix of sentiment. The fear and greed index is at 14, but the volume is still high. That's a sign that the market isn't fully panicking.
But the volume is still high and the price is down. That's a sign of selling pressure. The market is in a risk-off mood.
My 24-hour call. Bitcoin bearish. Target $64,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $64,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $63,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $63,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $62,000 by next session.
The consensus is bearish, but there's some divergence on the target. The market is in a risk-off mood, but the volume is still high. Keep an eye on Bitcoin's $64,000 support level. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Crypto Edition. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.